Hit the music. Oh, there we go. Took a while. For some reason. This is Roddy Radio with episode number 8. I had to write it down. I want to say the episode number on each of these. And I keep forgetting which one we're on, so I wrote it down. Episode 8. And this is Roddy Radio, a subsidiary of Roddy TV, which is my YouTube channel. But this doesn't go on YouTube. This is just audio on Spotify. It's a podcast that people kept requesting because they don't know Spanish, and they always said it looks like a blast what we do on Alta Red, and it is. So I figured to take a little bit of that and do it in English, sometimes with guests, sometimes without, sometimes with a lot of guests. Today we have a really special guest, a really good friend of mine. It's actually, when I met you, I remember you were just one of my brother was your supervisor, so it was just a lady that works for my brother, under my brother. And then I met your daughter, and I got really, really close with her, so for a while there you were just my friend's mom. Pero como han ido pasando los años, Della, I think that now you're just my friend, which is great.
That's how I've always felt about you I think likewise I thought of you as Natalie's friend, and then...
Yeah, see, it kind of did that little transition. Because Natalie and I were super, super close for a while. That's what I was telling you a while back. Me estaba acordando de when Natalie and I worked together at Melaleuca, and my car broke down, so she was my ride for a while, for like a week. And then her car broke down, so you had to take us to work. And it just felt like we were little kids, like my friend's mom's taking us to work. You would just drop us off in the morning.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how we got home. Did you pick us up? No, I don't think you did.
I don't think so.
I don't know how the hell we got home.
I think you got home with Claudio.
Maybe.
I think so.
Yeah. So we split it up. Yeah, because you know Claudio pretty good too. You've asked me about him.
He was very strict and he was an amazing supervisor.
The thing is, most people know him through jobs and stuff, and so they don't know how hilarious he is and stuff, because he's all business when he's at work. And that's, por eso está como está, that's why he's made such a successful living in business and stuff. But if you ask any of us, it's like me and my younger brother. The thing is, my two older brothers, everybody thinks they're really serious dudes. But I'm but the younger ones get it from someone. También son desmadrosos. They're funny and they're silly and stuff. But it was just a different upbringing. It's almost like they're completely different parents. What they had very our parents were a lot more strict with them than they were with us, and so they were just brought up. I mean, it's like they're in a different family almost.
Yeah, I think that's normal. It's typical. I think we as parents are a little stricter with our older children, and then you learn a little bit and you become a little more lenient.
You kind of let up, huh?
Yeah.
I'm learning that. Now, how many kids do you have?
I have 5.
5?
4 boys and 1 girl.
And just Natalie, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
See, because I've only más o menos de lo que platicaba Natalia, but Natalie's the one I got really close with. Because I knew her at Center Partners, but we got really close after, just hanging out a lot and stuff.
Yeah.
She'd always go over to my house. Because I was managing the apartments where I lived, and she would help me. People would just leave, and they'd leave all their crap in the apartments, and so we'd go empty it out and throw stuff away and keep the stuff that was cool. So she'd always help me clean those apartments out and stuff. Yeah. How's she doing? I haven't
She's
seen her
actually
in a minute.
doing really good. She's going to school for nursing RN. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, last time I saw her, she was in the scrubs and everything.
Yeah, so right now, in my opinion, she's doing amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yes, and I'm glad she kept on with that that she found that, because for a while there, I think it's funny. You always think you're too old to do stuff, because when Natalie and I were in our mid-20s, we were well, we're too old to go to school. We're just, and obviously not. She's doing something. So
yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. And but and we were talking about a little bit about that before we started too. Just knowing you've always been very upbeat, very friendly, very at Center Partners, at that call center. You were just that nice lady, and everybody knew you were Natalie's mom. You remember Carlos Chivas?
Yes.
He used to always fuck with you, he'd get under your skin quite a bit.
Yes, I do remember him.
And it was just to me, it was Mama's Carlos como like es una señora, like what are you fucking with her like that? Like,
Yeah.
but he was funny, and I've had that reaction from other people at other jobs, like esa señora es un señor grande, ¿por qué le hablas así? And I'm like, I don't know, just like to fuck with him.
It was good. He kept I think he kept me happy and just, I needed that at that time in my life. I needed somebody like him, and so.
That was during your separation. You were just telling me about that. See, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. You can be really close with someone, but you never talk about like certain things. Exactly. Like with Natalie, like I know her. Like I just took it as a fact that her parents weren't together, but I never like prodded or asked what the deal was. So what was the deal, Della?
Yeah, I think for her at that point, it was pretty new, and so I don't think she brought it up to.
Yeah, I don't think she talked about it with anybody. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
And she seemed pretty well adjusted. I mean, sepa que habrá estado pasando adentro de ella, you know, but she seemed all right.
Yeah, exactly. I think her and I were able to. We had the kind of relationship where we were able to talk a lot about things. She also saw a lot of stuff, so I think that she was a little bit more understanding.
Okay. Yeah, that's how it was when my parents split too. Everybody was like, "Are you guys okay?" It's like se tardaron. We kind of wish they would have divorced long before they did, you know. Yeah. Because, like I said, we were adults. We were all out of the house by the time. Well, my youngest brother was still at the house, but he was at high school. He was in college, so it was like we were good to go at that point, I think.
Exactly. I think that's how it was with us. Natalie was a sophomore in high school, and then we ended up moving to Idaho Falls. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you guys are from
Driggs.
Mm-hmm. So I remember she'd go visit her dad, and she'd have to like plan it out. It wasn't just like it's not on a whim. Like I'm just gonna go see my dad real quick. It's like she'd have to she'd be like, oh, this weekend I'm gonna go see my dad. Yeah. Yeah.
Her and her friend Joanna Herrera moved down here with us.
Oh, okay.
Joanna moved in with us, and they started ISU that year. Yeah.
Man, time flies, Della. Because that was when I met you. When I started at Center Partners at the call center, it was 2005, fresh out of high school. So that's going on 20 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that have come on Alta Red and on this podcast are people that I've met at that call center.
Call center, yeah.
So it's like people that I've known for almost 20 years and that I still keep in kind of contact with.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Time flies. In a blink of an eye. I think that sometimes we take time for granted. We don't. We always put off spending time with our loved ones, or I feel like we tend to want to work and work and work, and we forget about time with our families. Yeah. Because time is extremely valuable and we don't realize it.
Yeah, it's true. And especially if you're working. I mean, what do you think about that? Like people, obviously, I mean, you just said what you think about that, but what if it's someone that's like has their own business and is it possible to spend too much time on your own business and not enough time with your family? Or does the dynamic change there when you're not working for someone else?
I feel like the dynamic changes, and I feel that way because I feel like if it's your own personal business, you can make it to where you're able to bring your family into the business, and you can still have fun. I feel like you can still make it a fun environment. I could be wrong because I've never had my own business.
But that might be the kind of the solution, because that's the thing, and it's funny, we were talking about like the split between my older brothers and my younger brothers. That's something my mom has always kind of lamented with us. She's like, con ustedes nunca pude pasar mucho tiempo con ustedes. It's like, because I was always at work. It's like with your older brothers, I was always with them because I didn't work back then. And he said, but then when they asked me for something, she's like, I never had any money. I could never buy them stuff. So it's kind of a trade-off. With them, she spent all the time with them, but then she could never really get them anything extra or take them to eat or anything like that. And with us, it's like it was a lot less time that she spent with us, but she was always like, I see, and still to this day, the other day she got home and she was like, vamos a comer a los chinos. I was like, yeah, I was all excited. I felt like a little kid again.
Yeah. And
so it's, I don't know, is one better than the other? Or?
I think now that I am the age that I'm at, I feel like the family time is more important, more valuable than the material things. I think that you'll always have those memories where the material things kind of don't become so popular, so you put them at the back of the shelf. They're easy to forget about.
Yeah.
And you can't do that with your memories. They're always there. And for me personally, I feel like those memories help keep me positive, help keep me going on the tough days.
Yeah. You just kind of reminisce and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. And you've had tough days lately. What is it what is it that you have right now, just so people know?
I have colon cancer, but it's metastasized to my liver. So I also have a colostomy bag. So one of the main things I want to say is in my opinion, people see the colonoscopies as, oh, I don't want anything up my rear end.
Yeah.
I was one of those people. And
did you put it off and put it off?
Yes, I did. I put it off, and I put it off because I did not want the idea of having something up the back end. Just didn't sit well with me.
Doesn't sound too appealing.
No, exactly. And
then there's all these jokes about it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like when the doctor puts the camera in and then you realize he has both his hands on your shoulders. So you're like, what the fuck's he using?
Exactly.
Like jokes like that really don't help the cause. So I probably shouldn't say something like that.
But I feel like I'd like to make it a point to, if I could reach one person and tell them the importance of the colonoscopies. They found it at a stage 3. I had chemo for 6 months. I was off chemo for 4 months, and then I went back for a C-scan, and it had metastasized, and it was at a stage 4.
What does that mean,
Metastasized is when it spreads to different parts of your...
Oh, into like another
body.
organ or something?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And so I feel like...
So it started in your colon, but now it's...
in my liver.
In your liver.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And you don't want to... Cancer is not something you want to, excuse my French, but fuck around with. It's you can still keep going, and you don't want to sit and feel sorry for yourself because life goes on. But... if you can prevent it when you're young, colon cancer is something that they're finding in younger adults now.
Okay.
I believe they say 30 years old.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, when are people supposed to start getting colonoscopies?
From what I understand, they're saying 50, but they've found it's become such a popular, well, I don't know if popular is the right word, but such a common thing. Exactly. A common thing for people in their 30s, mid-30s. So if you can, push it, get the colonoscopies done. I have a colostomy bag, and I will tell you, nobody wants to wait till you have that. That's not fun.
So how did you end up doing the colonoscopy? Were you like in pain or something? Or?
It was during COVID. I had different textures of BMs, poop, and...
What do you mean different textures? Just
so soft, sometimes diarrhea, sometimes constipation. The point that got me scared was I saw a maroon-colored, like, streak. I started... Not very many people stop and look at their poop, but
at some point you probably should, huh?
Yeah, you should pay attention to,
especially if you're having irregularities like that, where it's like, oh, I don't just have diarrhea, or, like now and then it's over. It's like it's on and off, and then I'm constipated. Like there's something going on.
Right, and when I went to the doctor, they told me it was COVID.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
So
everything was COVID
exactly.
that year.
It was a strain of COVID. So I ended up going to my doctor, Dr. Jones, Brian Jones. I described everything, and he ordered a colonoscopy immediately. The funny thing about this is when my son dropped me off, they did not allow him into the office. And so, because you go in there thinking, oh, nothing's going to be wrong. I was just worried about.
It's just kind of routine checkup kind of thing.
Exactly. When I woke up.
They didn't let him in because of COVID, or?
Yes, because of COVID, he could not go in. He had to drop me off.
It was just a one at a time kind of thing back then, huh? Yes.
So then when I woke up, he was in the room.
Oh, they knock you out for the colonoscopy?
Yes.
Why are we so afraid of it then?
That's my question. That was my question to myself. It didn't hurt. It was nothing.
Yeah, I wish people. I mean, everybody just assumes you're going to be awake the whole time.
Right,
but if they knock you out,
they knock you out, and I didn't feel any pain or anything afterwards.
And it's not like they're sticking a big old, 50 millimeter lens up your ass like that. It's a little fiber optic camera that shouldn't be doing much.
Right.
It's not going to damage anything up there. They know what they're doing. So.
Exactly.
So let's not be afraid of that. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Now, as far as is there a certain age when you're supposed to get like a routine colonoscopy?
I believe, to be honest with you, it is at 50.
At 50? And that's probably something that's going to be covered by like most health insurance and stuff.
It is covered. Well, it was covered by my health insurance.
But before that, do you they might not cover it or something?
That I believe.
Kind of check with your insurance.
I would check with my insurance, and if you have any questions or anything, I think you can push it to where maybe your doctor can make it to where your insurance will cover it.
Like if it's something that you need, they will probably cover it.
Yes.
Okay. And so you went in, you woke up, and your son's in the room.
He's in my room, and they tell me that the doctor's going to be in a few minutes. He needed to talk to me. And he went in.
Did you kind of feel that if he needs to talk to you, it can't be anything good?
I didn't feel... I think when I saw Pedro in the room, I thought something's wrong. But never in my wildest dreams did I think it would be cancer. Especially colon cancer, but...
Like you knew something's wrong, but it can't be that, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So he went in, the doctor went in, and he told me, you have cancer. And I looked at him and I says, well, how do you know if you haven't sent it to the labs? How do you know? And he says, I'm 99.5% sure that it's cancer. I've seen it. And
so what is it? Like a tumor, like a bump up in there or something?
Yes.
And something that he could recognize that's...
Yes.
There's nothing else it could be.
Right. Okay. There's a name for them, and I can't think of
the polyps?
Polyps, exactly, yes. And I believe that's what started it all. And he looked at Pedro, and Pedro at that point had trillions of questions, and he started questioning. I think I was numb. I couldn't. It didn't mean anything.
Yeah,
I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel anything at the moment.
Okay. When did it hit you finally? Because there had to be a moment when it hit you, right? Like
it hit me.
You got sad or mad or something?
It hit me hard when I go home and Pedro leaves. I live with him because he helps me out. And so he left, and he does not smoke. And he came home and he smelled like cigarettes. And I said, Mijo, did you smoke? Are you okay? And he said some things that were personal, and he told me, what he had done. And it hit me a little then, and then I had to tell my other kids, and I told my daughter. She's my only daughter, so I feel like we're extremely close. Mm-hmm. And when I told her, she started crying. And it was, I felt her pain. And I think the worst thing about it was that I knew I was going to be okay, but I couldn't do anything for her. how do I help my child through this pain?
There's really nothing you can do.
No, there's nothing. And I think as parents, I think that's one of the hardest things we cross in life is seeing our children in pain.
Yeah.
But when you feel like you're the cause of it.
Just a million times worse, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. And so, kind of backtracking again, so you're back at the doctor's office. Pedro's asking the doctor a million questions. What happened after that?
We we left there. We ended up, he got the answers to the questions. He kind of pushed the doctors into getting things set up right away. He held them accountable. They told them this and this, different steps of what was going to happen. He asked them when, what time. He called out. Sometimes the offices don't call you back right away.
Yeah.
He called them to make sure that those appointments were set up. And I feel like things moved really fast, but I feel like he helped.
Probably because of him, yeah, because I've had the same experience where if you're not on them, things like that happen. You just think they took care of it and it can slip through the cracks. One person didn't pass it along. And
yeah, it happens more often than we think.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
God damn. And so, where along the way did you have to get the colostomy bag? And just so people know, so the colostomy bag, that means you don't use the restroom for bowel movements anymore.
Exactly, I do not. So I have a colostomy bag. It's on my left side.
So is that plugged right into your intestines and it comes out so there's like a hole in your belly or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it connects to so it kind of looks like an asshole.
The hole in your belly looks like a butthole?
Yeah, there's a little, I can't show
little puckered anus?
Yeah, it's yeah.
Wow.
And so
they pretty much they rip you.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. And you have what they call a Barbie butt.
Oh, they call it that?
They call it a Barbie butt.
Like the doctors call it that?
Your back end is called a Barbie butt.
Oh.
Because you can't.
Because it's
and it's
okay. Okay, I get that.
It's sewn together.
The way Barbies are not.
Yeah.
They have genitals or buttholes, right?
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
That's quite the medical term. And I'm glad that you're willing to talk about this because I think this is the stuff a lot of people. That's why there's so much ignorance because nobody's willing to talk about it. You're embarrassed about it, and you're afraid to say the wrong thing. So it's kind of cool that you take it with enough humor that we can kind of joke about it because why not? And so how's that work? Is it just automatically when your food is digested, it comes out into the bag, or?
It does, but you never know. So I've had it 2 years. August 31st was when I had the surgery. I had the tumor removed on my rectum, and then I ended up with the colostomy bag. And the first year was very challenging. You have to learn to put the colostomy bag on just right because it leaks.
Oh wow!
And sometimes it bursts.
And what are those made of? Just like regular plastic?
Plastic.
Is it fairly thick though? Is it kind of hard to burst or?
Yes, it is hard to burst. The problem is that they make like an adhesive, and there's like a little thing that sticks to your belly, to your skin. And sometimes the adhesive doesn't allow the wafer to stick to your skin. So there's that bottom part, it's called the wafer, and then you stick the bag to the wafer.
Oh, kind of almost like a little Velcro patch, but it's like a little adhesive.
Yes.
So, okay. And so when you're done with it, you just throw it out?
You empty the stuff in the toilet and then throw it out in the garbage. But
is that pretty disgusting, though? Do you gag when you do that?
I didn't at first. Wait, no, I did at first, but I don't now. I work with people that are developmentally
Oh, that's
challenged.
true.
So
yeah. So you're
it's
kind of used to it. I was gonna ask you, like, when your kids were babies, did you ever gag with their shit?
I did.
Like when you were changing their diapers, because I do that all the time with
Yeah.
like with my little ones when they're in diapers.
Yes.
And they
Yes.
just think it's the funniest thing. They think I'm fucking around, and I'm like, no, like I'm seriously almost puking on you because. And my oldest one, she wore diapers for a lot longer than I wanted her to. And I remember she was like probably like 3 years old, and it was a Saturday. Like her mom had gone to work, and it was just me and her hanging out all day. So we got up, we had breakfast. Then a little later, we had some pizza for lunch and stuff. And then I had to change her diaper in the afternoon. I'm changing her, and I'm like, geez. And she said, she's like, what have you feel? She's like, it stinks. And I'm like, of course it stinks. I was like, it's the same as my shit right now. We've been eating the same thing all day. Like this is pretty much what my poop is right now: pizza and cereal. And so it's pretty disgusting. Now that's the thing. That's something I wanted to talk about a little bit because I think everybody thinks like shit is gross. Isn't that like? It's kind of ironic because I'm a friend of mine. She was on the podcast a few weeks ago. And the only reason I would even say this is because she's brought it up on her social media. She has epilepsy. And so when people go into seizure from epilepsy, they can have accidents. Mm-hmm. And so she's had people make fun of her for that. And it's like, isn't it crazy that like the one thing that we all have in common is something we can make fun of? Like some people make fun of other people for, like if you shit yourself or something. Because that's the only thing we have in common with everybody.
It's true.
Like if you're a black dude or a gay guy or a trans woman or a lesbian or anybody, we all just shit.
Exactly.
Like that's the one thing. So why are we like so grossed out by it and able to ridicule people over it?
That's one thing that I will never understand. I know personally, like in my field of work, I change people all the time. Mm-hmm. And there's times that I'm thinking, oh, I'm gagged because, oh my gosh.
Well, yeah.
But I think about my situation, and for me it's a little different because I feel like I can smell it. And I remember when I first got it, I was disgusted with myself. I didn't feel whole. And so I would ask my kid, I'd always ask my kids, can you smell me? Do I stink? No, they couldn't smell it. That's what they would tell me.
It's undetectable. I mean, I don't smell anything right now.
And then my people at work, I would ask them, can you smell me? No. And I had several accidents at work. So there were times where I'd be sitting at the table and my bag would burst and I had BM everywhere. And I'd have to leave, and I've been really blessed to be in the field and to work with the people that I work with because I've had women go and clean up the shit literally off the floor from my colostomy bag. Della, go home. It's okay. Go change and come back. I work with an amazing group of people that understand.
They can tell you like that and not make you feel any shame or any.
Exactly.
Because it's crazy. I mean, I'm including myself. Like I would feel ashamed too, but there's no reason to.
Right. It's something that you cannot control.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I can tell you a million times, oh, there's nothing to be ashamed of, but you know damn well you're still going to feel some shame about it. You're still going to feel a certain way about these things.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that, for me personally, I think the colostomy bag is more of a hurdle than the cancer. I'm living, I have chemo and I have my bad days, but I get through them. The colostomy I have to live with for the rest
That's like
of my
every
life.
day dealing with it.
Yeah.
An everyday nuisance.
Right.
Yeah.
It's getting easier.
Is that something that's going to be on you forever now, or is there?
Forever.
Yeah. Are there other cases or like different things where people have those for a while and then go back to regular?
Yes, they have a reversal.
Where they just plug in their guts back to their anus, or what?
Yes,
pretty much.
Yeah,
wow, it's crazy. Modern medicine is something wild.
Right.
Tell you what.
Right. And then one thing here in Idaho, it's very hard to find doctors or even nurses that are familiar with the process of the colostomy or even how to use the colostomy bags. I ended up going to see Dr. Patel and Leslie Golding over in Madison County.
Okay, yeah, that name sounded familiar, but my mom always goes Madison County.
Yeah.
As much as she can. I mean, sometimes she ends up here at Irmac, but and when we were kids, they would always take us to Madison County.
Well,
it's a little farther away, but it seems like
they have.
It's a little bit better.
I feel like it, and I feel like Dr. Patel and Leslie, they helped me like you wouldn't believe. And the people that work with the Huntsman Center there in Rexburg, they're incredible people, all the nurses, everybody there. I do need to say that they are the only hospital that has a nurse that knows how to help you with your colostomy bags.
Okay.
So she
like how to handle it.
Yes, she went to school.
There's like
so she specializes in that.
Okay.
And I've went to several doctors here, and urgent cares and stuff, and they're like, we can't help you. We don't know anything about
that's
colostomy bags.
Something you'd think. I mean, I'm not saying it's not complicated, but it's something you would think everybody should know how to handle. Like
exactly.
Even the nurses are like, even the aides and stuff.
Yes.
It's like it seems something not impossible to learn how to deal with.
Right, and I guess I should rephrase and say they do know how to do the basics. When I refer to Catherine, the gal over in Huntsman, she was able to show me how to get my wafers and my bags on correctly so that I would not have any leaks.
Okay.
Or the bag wouldn't explode. So when we were speaking earlier, I did mention to you that I've been blessed and I haven't had an explosion or a leak for a couple of months.
That's good.
I have her to thank for that.
And so what causes the leaks? Like maybe you put it on too taut, and so when you move around, it stretches around and stuff? Or?
Sometimes just the adhesive, using the right adhesive, mm-hmm. There's a little ring that you have to put on first. So it's putting that ring on correctly, getting air in your bag, using lubricants.
And your waste is it's just always fluid liquid when you're on a colostomy bag, or do you have like turds in there?
So for me, I've always been constipated, so I had a really hard time. Mine was very hard.
And so is that painful?
It is. It can be very painful, and then if you don't use the bathroom, you can have a blockage. So I'm not really. They've advised me not to eat a lot of raw vegetables. I love raw vegetables.
Oh, because they go right through you, though, right? Yeah. I vegetables, I can't do anything like broccoli. I love broccoli if it's raw, but if it's boiled or anything, it's disgusting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, lettuce, corn, all that stuff goes right through, so you can't.
Right, and the corn and the seeds in certain fruits can cause a blockage. Beans.
Como de chile.
Right, and the skin on beans.
Oh yeah.
I love beans. The skin on beans right. So
you just have like the mashed beans now.
Right. Well, I eat them because I like them and they're healthy.
But you know what your risk is.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I need to drink and uptake my fluids.
And so what causes cancer, colon cancer?
I asked them what caused colon cancer, and they didn't.
Just kind of luck of the draw kind of thing?
Right.
That sucks.
And it's not hereditary. Okay. I don't have it in my...
I was going to ask you that, yeah. So, did you ever smoke, Della?
No, never smoked. I didn't really drink up until when I left my
you kind of hit the bottle
ex-husband. Yeah, I drank. I started drinking, but for me to say I've been drinking since I was 20, no. I started when I was about 36.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, but leaving a relationship, we talked about that before too. That's, I'm not saying it's excusable, but it's definitely a reason to,
we find different ways to hide our
like
emotions.
self-medicate and stuff.
Yeah, to not feel.
Yeah, I try to be in the best way possible for myself, but even then, I've been hitting the gym a lot, and I'll tell my mom, I was like, man, I'm not getting rid of this massive gut. And she's like, well, your arms look pretty good, but until you stop drinking, you're not going to get rid of that freaking gut, you know? And I'm like, yeah, well, you're right. I'll kick back on the drinking in a little while. Yeah. But for now, I mean, this year, I was a pretty mad drunk for a while, but then for years, I didn't really drink a lot here and there. But this year has been fairly constant. I mean, I'm not always drunk, but I mean, I've been drinking a lot.
Yeah. It's easy. It's legal.
Yeah, it's legal. And that's the thing. And honestly, I've only been drunk maybe 4 times, but it's just that constant stream of like, oh, I'll have one here and one there, and it's just always in your system. Even if you're not fucked up, you're not drunk, but you're always kind of chilling with the alcohol.
Exactly. I have times where I'll tell my coworkers, oh, I need to have a shot of tequila.
Yeah.
And I never do. But sometimes I wish I could.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. I mean, like I said, back in the day, like when I used to hang out with Natalie, we'd, on a Friday or Saturday night, we'd go through cases of beer, and like this, just last week I finished a case of beer that I bought like 2 months ago. So it's like, I'm not drinking it all at once, but I'm like steadily like 1 or 2 a day. And the same thing, Tengo botellota de tequila that I swiped from a wedding. I talked about that on the other podcast, and it's like, I just barely finished it a couple days ago. So it's not like I'm chugging it, but it's like slowly, just a little bit, little by little. And so it's like, I don't feel like it's a problem, but it's definitely been a crutch that I need to stop using pretty soon. So
right, I agree with you. I think it's a easy crutch for all of us. And I think for me, I know that in my younger days, I didn't think about going to exercise. Hey, I'm going to go hit the gym. I didn't ever think about that. But now we have the opportunities to go and
I mean, there wasn't a lot of gyms. That's a fairly new thing. Right. I mean, even here in Idaho Falls, what do we have? Like 20 years ago, we had like 2 or 3 gyms. Now there's like a gym on every corner.
Every corner, exactly. Yeah.
So, and it was always back then. It was like no quería ir porque the dudes there are the buff dudes and the really skinny like buff chicks and stuff. Yeah. And now it's like everybody, everyday Joe. Like you see all shapes and sizes at the gym, and everybody's fine with each other. Everybody's working with each other.
And that's the important thing to remember is, in my opinion, is we're not there to compare ourselves to anybody. Yeah. We're there to better ourselves.
To do the best for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like I said at the beginning, you're really upbeat. Like, you have fucking cancer, Della, and you're just chilling.
We have to. I'm very blessed. I have cancer, but I don't really feel sick. I feel really tired when I get chemo, but for the most part, I have an amazing family. My kids are an awesome support. My brothers and sisters. I know everybody. I have people at work that'll say, everybody. I don't know everybody, but the people that I do know, they bring some kind of happiness or a little ray of sunshine. Different memories pop up when I see different people, and so that keeps me going.
When I ran into you a couple weeks ago here, that was really good to see you. I hadn't seen you in a long, long time.
Yeah, it made me really happy to see you.
It was awesome to see you, yeah. Yeah, and I was on my way here. That's why I was at that gas station.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we were on our way here.
I was thinking about when I saw you. I was thinking about when I'd give you and Natalie rides.
You're thinking about that. It was just a funny situation. Like, yeah, muy adultos los veías. Like, she lived on her own, I lived on my own, and she lived fairly close to where I lived, which I lived in the freaking worst part of town. That means she lived in the worst part of town. It's like that. When you're in your 20s, you're like, I just want to get out.
I just want to get away from my family. Yeah, exactly.
And I was just telling this to someone else before. I was like, because I moved out when I was like 19. And then when I went back to school when I was like 23, I moved back in with my parents so that I would like save money. And they had bought a new house, and my room there was kind of offset from the house as like an add-on, and so I had my own door to the outside and stuff. And then like my girlfriend would spend the night. Like I'd go pick her up at midnight, then I'd go drop her back off at her. She would sneak out, and so out of her house. And so like when my mom noticed that, she was all pissed. And so I was like, well, maybe I should just move out again. You know.
I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You're a human, right?
Yeah, it's
you're
like,
only human.
And so it's like, well, I guess I just need my own place. If I'm gonna be playing adult shit like that, you have to get your own place. And so that's when I moved back out. I didn't last maybe a year back with them, and it was tough like that. You just get used to being on your own kind of stuff when you're young. Because now I'm living with my mom again ever since I split up from my wife and we got the divorce and everything. Mm-hmm. And it's like the best because I'm in my mid 30s now, so I don't really care, about anything else. So I'm just chilling. Yeah. And I'm like, I'll be set out to do some cooking, and she's like, no, I was gonna make this and this. I was like, okay,
You're like, yes.
I'm not gonna fight her too much about it.
Yeah.
And so of course, I do it. Maybe I have like a log furnace, so I'm always out there chopping wood and stuff. I do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's good. I think you're both blessed. I think your mom will appreciate these moments with you, and you'll look back someday and appreciate.
Yeah, we've had a lot of time to kind of reconnect.
Right.
Which I've always been close with my mom, but like just the last year has been a whole other level of kind of like on an adult level to be able to reconnect and talk about everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And talk about the fucked up things that happened when we were younger, and it's kind of the same way with like what we were saying with a little bit of humor. We're always kind of joking about some really dark things sometimes, and that's I had someone tell me the other day that they thought like because I posted on my Instagram story that I was crying with. Have you watched that fucking movie? It's my daughter wanted me to watch it, and I watched it, and I was like, this looks kind of lame. But by the end of it, I was crying. It's like a love story. It's Elemental. And this fire girl falls in love with this water guy. Oh, man, it's beautiful. Really? But anyway, so I posted it. It was really good. It was a great love story. And a girl that I know, replied to that. And she's like, you like love stories? Like, you look like such a grizzled old man. And I'm like, no, I'm actually a fairly romantic person, I think. Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, well... She's like, maybe it's just because of all your super dark humor on your shows and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, there's that, but but I think it goes both ways. When you're I feel like I'm a very emotional person, so at the same time we can be just as dark as we are funny.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is crazy. Are you like that? Are you kind of dark humored?
I don't think that I am. I don't feel like I've ever been dark humored, but
super dark. But it's not something that really bothers you. No. You have a good some people get offended with super dark jokes and shit.
Oh no. But
you've always been really easygoing with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't I think for the most part when I joke, my jokes are pretty dumb.
Which isn't bad.
But I think that I just pretty much get along with everybody.
You're a very religious person, Della, I think. I get the vibe.
I am very, very... anybody who looks at my Facebook, I post about God all the time. And I firmly believe that if I did not... Well, I'll be honest with you. When I was in that room with Pedro, waiting for the doctor to go in, I felt peace. I don't know why, but I felt peace. And when the doctor said, you have cancer, I wasn't scared.
You think he could have given you worse news and said you have probably so much to live, and you would have been ready?
Right. And I was told by another cancer doctor that I had 4 years to live. I went in and got a second opinion. And, the first doctor that told me that, I told him, well, how do you know? Are you God? And I think I kind of puzzled him a little bit. And I told him I wanted to go get a second opinion, got a second opinion. things are going really well for me. This is my 3rd year with the cancer.
So according to that dude, you got a year left, but you're
Right.
feeling like
I'm still feeling strong.
you're good, and you look good. You look strong,
I'm still
and you have
good.
your hair. What? Where do you do the chemo? Is it here in Idaho Falls at that place over there?
No, I do the chemo at the Huntsman Center in Rexburg.
Oh yeah, you said
That's
that,
where my
yeah.
oncologist
Okay.
is. I was fortunate. I did not lose all of my hair. I lost it.
Is it
thinned
short?
out. Yeah.
Okay, I hadn't really noticed.
It did thin out quite a bit
Did you have pretty good hair though?
for the most part.
Because
Yeah.
your hair looks pretty good. You're
Yeah.
saying it's thinned out and it looks better than mine, and I don't have cancer that I know of. So.
I've been taking biotin,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and so that helped. I have a lot of new growth, so that helped me quite a bit
I've been thinking about getting that just because I've been getting real thin up
in
top.
here. Yeah.
And just-
Well, it worked for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? And I'm looking at your hair now. When I met you, I don't think you had gray hair, did you?
Nope.
And you weren't dyeing your hair or anything.
No.
Right?
But I was pretty young.
Well, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So.
So I was.
Wow.
I'm 58. So I was.
You're
20.
like my age.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Imagine that.
Oh yeah, because I've been lucky. I've known people my age or younger that are either going bald or gray all the time, or all the way. And the only gray I have like a few grays in like my
Your
mustache
beard,
and my
yeah.
beard. And I'm like, other than that, like, I'm still in pretty good shape.
You're lucky.
Pero de un viejazo, ever since the divorce, like I'm looking a lot older than I did even a year ago.
It does that to us.
Yeah.
The stress, and I think that's another thing is I feel like stress. If you can go and work out, do things, be nice to yourself instead of sitting at home and dwelling on the things you
That's
can't
why
fix.
I do this.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm doing so much of this now. And when I started doing it again, that's what my mom said. She's like, "I'm glad you're doing something." She's like, "Because for the first couple of months, she's like, you were just at the house. When you didn't have the girls with you, you were just at the house. It was sad."
Yeah.
And I get off work really early. I got off work at 2:30.
Wow. See,
So
I
it's
do
like-
too.
So I have all fucking day to myself.
Yeah, I do too. And for the first year and a half, 2 years, I did not. When I had the colostomy, I didn't go out. I did everything online. I was scared to have an accident.
Oh, you're scared to
So-
like be grocery shopping
Yeah.
and have your colostomy
Yeah.
bag burst or something.
Yeah.
And it's always that colostomy bag, because what else could go wrong?
That's
with
it.
yeah,
Colostomy
that's
bag.
crazy.
That's it.
That's crazy.
So
But definitely normal. You know, like you said, I'm glad that that's what you wanted to talk about, because that is something that needs to be normalized. I bet there's a lot of people that have them and we don't even realize it. Because if you hadn't told me you had it, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Until that day
Yeah.
over there. So. Wow. So you're a religious person. I bet. How do you feel about Christmas coming on? Is Christmas a special time for you?
it is not the presence so much. It's the presence of God, the presence of your family, the presence of just being healthy. And I still consider myself healthy.
Yeah.
I'm there with my family. I have another day to be thankful
You're
for.
not in bed, all just bedridden.
No,
So there's
exactly.
that.
Right. I'm still
It's one of those like it could be a lot worse.
exactly. And if you think about it, our situations may seem really bad, but there is always somebody that has it a lot worse than we do.
That's absolutely right.
So,
Last year, when the divorce started, and my daughter had just been in the hospital with RSV, and she was kind of recovering from that, and I felt like my life was at the worst point of it, and I went back to work in December. It was a year ago. It was in November. So I go back to work in December, and I'm feeling like my life is the worst. Now there was a guy that worked there. They don't work there anymore, but the guy that worked there with me and his son, his wife, so the kid's mom, they lost her that year.
Wow.
Around those days. So they did the company Christmas party. They just did it at work that year, and so they gave us food. They gave us our Christmas bonus, and I'm looking at those two sitting there, father and son, next to each other, and I was like, "Fuck, it could be worse, man."
exactly.
It's like I didn't lose anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm thinking I'm spending a shitty Christmas. Those two are in for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it can always be worse.
It can
unfortunately.
always be worse. So just be grateful, in my opinion, always be grateful for the today. Even the bad experiences that today might have brought us, learn from them and move forward.
Now, and you don't have to answer this one, I guess, if you don't want to, because it might be personal or family. Your kids, have you seen them be closer ever since your cancer? Or were they always pretty close?
They've always been pretty close. I have one that he didn't come to visit very often, and he comes to visit more often. So I don't believe it's because of the cancer. I think just maybe age, But I do believe they've always been very close.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And it's one of those things like I said, I don't know any of your sons. I just know your daughter. But she would always talk good about her brothers.
Yeah.
And you would think, like, well, how come I don't know the brothers if they're so close? But honestly, a lot of my really close friends don't really hang out with my brothers. But I feel like I'm really close with all my brothers, too. So
yeah. So for the most part, I only have 2 kids living here in Idaho Falls.
Is she the youngest? Is Natalie the youngest?
Nope. She's my 4th oldest. She's a second to the youngest.
I was never sure about that.
Yeah.
That's insane, Della. Well, the thing about Christmas for me, I mean, I was driving up here and I was listening to like Classy 97. I always put it on the Christmas music and stuff. And the thing is, and I don't know if you know this, and I'm only talking about it because I've talked about it on both the shows. I don't really believe in God.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't judge anyone that does, and I don't try to make anyone believe something other than what they believe. But people that know that I'm like the way I am, and they see me listening to Christmas music and like loving Christmas time, they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, well, it's the only time that like we all get the same days off and we get to be with our families.
Yeah.
And it's a really special time, end of the year.
Yeah.
So I've always been big on Christmas, regardless of what I believe or what I don't believe. So.
See, and I haven't been big on Christmas ever since my kids grew up.
Okay. Oh, that adds a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because Christmas was kind of dead at the house until Claudio had his 2 girls. Well, his first girl, obviously, and then it kind of livens the mood a little bit.
Exactly, quite a bit.
Yeah.
This year, for some reason, I'm looking forward to it. Again, not because of the presents, but I'll be with my clients because I'm working on Christmas Day.
Okay.
But on the 28th, I'll be with my family and
That's
we'll
awesome.
celebrate it.
That is awesome. Do you guys do big shindigs or anything?
No, it's something small. Just small get together and open presents.
That's good.
Yeah, but be together, laugh. When I was little, we grew up poor, but we always had food, and I remember being happy. I'd get one gift, and I was happy with that gift. But more than anything, I was happy to be with my family, my siblings.
Have you noticed that like kids these days don't really care about presents either because everybody just always buys stuff for their kids throughout the year?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like it kind of sucks for that reason because it's like, what do I give them that they didn't already get?
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, like at first I didn't like it, but now like I think my kids, or at least my older one, obviously the younger one's still too little. She does look forward to Christmas more. Like I could just not give her any presents. And she would still be like just wanting to spend time with us.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool that way.
Yeah, and I have 2 grandkids here, and they look forward. They've told me, "Oh, Grandma, you don't have to buy me presents," And I think it's that time, and seeing them want to come over and spend time with their tios and their tia and.
It's just a fun time. It's like I said, it's the only time everybody has the same days off. It's the greatest.
Right.
It's the best because every other time of the year you can take a vacation time or something, but nobody else is.
Yeah. Right.
When I was younger, when I lived by myself in my 20s, like I'd have vacation to burn, so I'd take some vacation days, and like it was lame. Nobody else was. I'd always hang out with people after work anyway, so it's like, oh. But Christmas time comes around, everybody has the same days off. It's really great.
Right.
I'm big on Christmas.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's really good. And was it really just your birthday a couple of days ago?
Oh, no. The thing is, my birthday's in February.
what I thought. That's what I thought.
Oh, you knew my birthday?
Well, no, because I did post. I thought I posted on there. Is it really your birthday?
Yeah, and
if
I
it
told
is,
you,
happy
yeah.
birthday. Yeah.
And Natalie's one that knows my birthday for sure, so she always likes those posts. I just for context on my Facebook throughout the year, I'll randomly
Yes,
post.
I have noticed that.
Thank you for. I want to thank everyone for the birthday wishes,
Yeah.
which people think I'm implying it was my birthday, but no, I was just saying I want to thank you guys for any birthday wishes in the past 36 years.
Yeah. But see, I never took it like that. I thought of it as you were implying it was your birthday.
And everybody's like, "How many birthdays do you have?" I was like, "Just the one," but I still want to thank you all.
Yeah.
And then every time I post that, people comment "Happy Birthday" on it.
Uh-huh.
So I never catch up because then I have to thank those people. it's just an ongoing cycle. It's terrible. But I don't even post my birthday on Facebook. It's like when my birthday comes around, it doesn't notify anybody.
Yeah.
See, Natalie and I were that close. She knows my birthday, and I know hers. Hers is the 31st of March.
Right.
Because every 31st of March, I make sure to remind her that on her 9th birthday, Selena was shot.
Yeah. And I think that'll be a memory she forever holds in her heart. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
But I think we're about reaching the end of the show, Della.
Okay.
I've been ending this series, the Roddy Radio series, with a question. And I've been making people answer it, even if it makes them uncomfortable. With you, I'm going to give you the choice, just under the circumstances. Obviously, you're very full of life. I don't think you have a year left. I think you have many more to give us. You look like you're strong and kicking. But it's that dark humor coming in. I've been asking people to end the show, because I don't. When you got married, did you have like bridesmaids and shit? Was it like a big shindig?
No, it was something small.
Something small. Because some people think like choosing bridesmaids or groomsmen is kind of difficult because you don't want to exclude anyone, but you don't have the right people.
Right.
Something that we never get to choose because it happens after we're gone is pallbearers. So who would be your pallbearers? 6 pallbearers.
To be honest with you, I would think my boys. I don't know that it would be something easy for them to do. But I think it would be hard. But I have 5 boys and 2 grandsons.
There you go.
And I think that's who I would want. I don't know very many men in my life. I have brothers, but I think that they will be a lot older. They are older than I am.
Are you the youngest in your...
I'm the baby. I'm Lovey.
You have sisters on?
I have 5 sisters.
How many of there are you then?
9.
9?
9, yeah.
Wow, that's big. That's a big family.
So.
That's I have some cousins that are 9.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
Yeah.
And my mom, originally, I think they were 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, she came from a big family.
Yeah, and she was like right in the middle. She was like the oldest of the youngest, So
wow.
It's insane. We have a picture in the living room from when my grandfather died, from when her dad died. And it's most of her brothers. There was only 2 that weren't able to attend, 2 sisters. And I think 1 that had passed on at that point. But it's just this picture with a ton of people. And my daughter, when she first started noticing stuff at the house, she's like, "Who's all those people?" It's like, "Those are your grandma's brothers and sisters."
Dang.
She's like,
wow.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But it's a different time. My grandmother was 13 when she got married to my grandpa, who was 21.
I was 14.
Isn't that nuts? That's fucking crazy, Della. How old was your husband?
He was 21.
So it's like the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they started having, like, my grandparents started having kids just one after the other.
Right.
Like, not even once a year, like sometimes twice in the same year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. I think about my grandkids and my granddaughters that are 14. I would never want them to be a mother at that age.
Uh-uh. You can't even think of them doing anything sexual, let alone moving forward and having a child.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
But, times change, I guess.
That's true.
Sometimes everybody likes to focus on how things are worse, but some things are better.
Yeah.
Like we're not
right.
marrying our kids at 13.
Exactly.
Our daughters aren't marrying 21 years old when they're 13 and having kids. So
Yeah.
Some things are a lot better now.
Yeah. And back to the pallbearers, I won't need any. I'm going to get cremated.
Yeah, see that my friend Oscar was having a hard time with the questions. I think he just doesn't like talk about mortality because he seemed to just not want to answer it. I'm like, it's just a fun question.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can answer it like meaningful, or you can like fuck around and like make some joke out of it. Like you can, it's just a fun little question to end the show. But that was same. I just want to be cremated.
Yeah.
And then in my dark humor fashion, I told him I feel guilty about taking up space now that I'm alive, so I sure as hell don't want to take up space when I'm dead.
Yeah, I agree with him. Yeah.
Oh man, but no, thanks a lot for coming, Della. This was really good. I hope it's like you said. If one person listens to this and goes and gets colonoscopy or goes and gets whatever. There's any little thing bugging you about your body, nobody knows your body more than you do.
Exactly.
So if something's kind of fucking with you, just go get it checked.
Don't wait.
No está por demás.
Do not wait.
Yeah. I need to take some of that advice sometimes too.
Yes. I'm one. I think in our culture, and I know you're ending this, but I feel like in our culture, we try to fix things with Vaporub.
Come on, Vaporub. You huevo.
But no, I think that sometimes we just put it off and put it off and put it off and not realize.
Until it gets way too big.
Yeah.
When maybe you could have nipped it in the bud.
Right.
And I think it's both cultural and age. I also think younger people aren't doing that anymore as much. Mm-hmm. But kind of, but cultural is a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, we go to work even if we're feeling like shit.
Exactly.
It's like we gotta go make that money.
It's been ingrained in our brain.
Yeah. ¿Cómo te vas a quedar en la casa? You're just gonna sit there all day?
Yeah.
Watch television? When you were a kid, did you ever stay homesick from school?
No.
No?
I don't ever remember
Really?
staying home from school. I got sent home one day.
Because you were sick?
Because I was sick and my mom was just, ¿Cómo estás enferma? Allí estás sentada viendo el televisión. And I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing?
Like if you're sick, you just be passed out.
Exactly. Yeah.
I stayed home maybe twice when I was in school. Mm-hmm. One time I was in high school. And do you remember in Mexico there was a show, they were like strippers, like male strippers, que solo para mujeres. And they would always go on TV and stuff, and they were a bunch of like novela actors and like bodybuilders and stuff. That morning that I stayed homesick from school, they were out on their motorbikes filming. It's not funny though, stop laughing. They were out filming a thing on their motorbikes on the streets, and like they were like, it was like a promo thing. And I don't know, they didn't block off the road. They were like on the fucking, like on a highway. And so this fucking guy comes up behind them and hits them all with his car. And they all go flying all over. And like I think one of them died. It just flies up in the air. And I got to, since I didn't go to school, I got to see like the whole thing develop. They were like, this is a news. This just happened. And like the first few times they played the video, like they weren't even bleeping out the swear words. And back then it was like a lot like a bigger deal with the swear words. Like, ese cabrón está bien loco ese pinche güey. And but then like, you know, throughout the day they started showing like shorter versions, not so gruesome. Like the first time they straight up showed the dude fly up in the air and splat on the ground, and
wow,
and the swearing and stuff. So they kind of refined it. But since I was like, I didn't go to school, so I got to see this whole thing unfold. It was insane.
I can't even.
It's not funny though. And when Selena died, I pretended to be sick at school because I was not having it. It was like I was fairly new in town still, and I was like, this teacher sucks. And so they sent an older cousin of mine to pick me up, and we were in her she had this little green S10 pickup truck, and she had the radio on, and that's when I found out Selena died. And I got home and I got to see Yolanda Saldivar with the gun pointed at her head. Live. Got to see that shit live.
Yeah.
So sometimes it is good to not go to school. You get to see some crazy shit on TV.
It might have traumatized. Were you traumatized from that at all, do you think?
Not well. You know, I think we're having a little therapy breakthrough because maybe I was. There was a time. Do you remember Brian Hernandez? Yeah. A really good friend of mine. There was a time when me and Brian were sending each other really gruesome videos back and forth, like people getting like hit by forklifts and dying this way and that way, and just terrible things that we should not have been watching, and like nautical videos, people getting their heads cut off and shit like that. Yeah. And like, it was kind of our goal to like send the like he sent me this one that was really gross. I'm gonna send him this one that's worse. And then one night, I'm asleep and I'm dreaming that I'm out on a gig with a band, and that we stopped to get gas and we met this really nice elder couple, and the old lady got to talking to us, and they were like, it was like a gas station, like a service station restaurant kind of thing, but I guess they also sold like a lot of biker gear, and they bought the straight up outfit. They looked like they were in that movie Tron, and it was just like a full body armor kind of thing. And they were like, "This is good for bikers, you know?" Because I'm like, "Well, it's just got like a leather jacket." And they're like, "No, but this is like it protects you all the way." And she's like, and she explained to us, she's like, our whole life we wanted to take a trip across country and we never did. And now my husband's starting to get the Alzheimer's, and so it's like it's now or never. Like he's starting to decline, so it's now or never. So this is the safest thing to wear these big, funny looking outfits like Power Ranger outfits. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And so next thing I know in the dream, we're on the road and I'm in the passenger seat. Like it was so vivid, like stuff that I've lived before. And so we're going on the highway and you see people, and I see the two old people go by on their bikes, and the lady was like in her pink Power Ranger looking outfit, and the old man was in like this blue thing, and they're going. And I remember in my head, like I heard the engine of the motorcycle cut off, and it went, and then went, and then it just goes silence, and then the dude falls off the bike. The old man falls off the bike, and he kind of skids on the ground, and he's in this big plastic outfit, and he's like, bounces twice, and the third bounce, his helmet falls off, and then the next bounce, his head bounces on the pavement, and his brains all spill out of his head. And I'm watching all of this from the passenger window, like a scrub, and so then, like, I don't know, dreams don't have to make sense, I guess. So they would have been way behind us, but like we keep driving, and then I see the lady had pulled over and she was on the phone, like looking all shocked. And I wake up and I was like, that was fucked up. And it was like 3 a.m. when I woke up, and but at that moment I got texted Brian. I was like, dude, we need to lay off this fucking videos now.
Did you guys lay off?
Yeah. We've since not really. We don't really partake in that stuff.
Yeah.
It messes with your head. You don't realize how much it fucks you up. But now, and I didn't realize it. But those noises, that's the sound those male strippers made.
So there was some trauma there.
So then it like got used in that dream. And the thing about those male strippers, they weren't wearing leather jackets. They were in like these real skimpy outfits. I think maybe they were wearing like chaps, but they weren't like even wearing shirts and stuff because they were trying to look buff and sexy. But that's made it worse.
Yeah.
But yeah. God,
it's crazy.
I think that's it. Della, is there anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for coming, everybody. Thank you for listening. I'm going to share the hell out of this one because good information today. So thank you, Della.
Thank you.